Bonhoeffer Abridged, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy by Eric Metaxas. Dietrich Bonhoeffer was born on February 4, 1906 in Breslau, Germany, to parents Karl and Paula Bonhoeffer. Karl Bonhoeffer was a renowned psychiatrist and neurologist, and Paula was a teacher. Dietrich was the sixth child out of the 8. Because of a new job opportunity for his father, Dietrich and his family moved to Berlin. All of the children did well in school, and Dietrich proved to be an elite pianist. Just as the war seemed to be going well for the Germans, the Bonhoeffers received a letter informing them that their son Walter had been killed in action. Karl was also enlisted in the German army, causing their mother great stress. In 1918, Germany lost World War I. When Germany received word about the Treaty of Versailles, they were outraged and political groups began to emerge. At age 14, Dietrich decided he wanted to be a theologian despite his parents' doubts. Dietrich began his pastoral studies at the Protestant Faculty of Theology of the university. After graduating, he went on to Berlin in order to complete his Doctor of Theology degree. In 1927, he would graduate in the top 5% of his class. After his second graduation, he was given the chance to be a vicar for a German congregation in Barcelona, Spain. After his time in Spain, Dietrich Bonhoeffer went to New York for a year. Bonhoeffer walked into New York during turmoil that would give him useful insight for the future. 9 months after arriving in New York, Bonhoeffer left for Germany. At the age of 25, he was ordained a priest. This was in 1931, 2 years before Adolf Hitler would be elected. Adolf's Nazi ideology was widely accepted by the German people, but Dietrich always opposed it. German churches and Adolf Hitler were in a struggle because he wanted to reform all of the churches. The churches were not so willing to submit, however. Dietrich got the opportunity to lead the teachings of pastors and churches in an underground seminary in Finkelwald-in-Zingst. A few years later, Hitler's forces closed the events. As World War II began, Dietrich joined the Abwehr. For the Abwehr, Bonhoeffer was involved in trying to gain foreign help in the resistance of Hitler as well as help free some of the imprisoned Jews. He believed that the blood of martyrs had been shed enough and that if they assassinated Hitler, it would not be killing of innocent blood. Dietrich became a pivotal part in the plot to kill Adolf Hitler, Valkyrie. Amid all of this, Bonhoeffer fell in love and was engaged to Maria von Wedemeyer. He was imprisoned at Tegel military prison as he awaited trial. Marie used her status as his fiancée in order to smuggle him messages and food. In prison, Bonhoeffer continued his calling of preaching the gospel to others. During his imprisonment, the bomb plot to kill Hitler was unsuccessful, and in order to minimize on the threats to his life, Hitler launched an investigation. On April 8, 1945, Bonhoeffer was sentenced to death due to his organization and role in the plot to kill Adolf Hitler, and the following day, he was executed. One lesson that I learned in this book was the willingness to listen to God's plan. Dietrich traveled all around the world in order to fulfill God's plan for him. He always shared the gospel no matter where he went. At the beginning of his life, Dietrich listened to God's calling when he chose to be a theologian instead of a musician. That is not what his parents or friends suggested, but it is what God wanted. Another example is when he was in prison. Bonhoeffer used his time there to share the gospel with all of the other inmates because God's plan for him was to be a light in a world that needed it. Overall, Bonhoeffer Abridged, Pastor, Martyr, Prophet, Spy was a very great read. If you like historical books that not only appeal to your love of history but also faith, this is a great book for you.